So for every game I've talked about so far, a major complaint I've had is their difficulty. Of course, I'm not just saying that I don't like when games are really hard. Difficulty can make a game better when used correctly. See Dark Souls, Super Meat Boy, or I Wanna Be the Guy. Other games, it can come down to the player's preference, or, how hard they want the game to be. But if a game is both bad and hard, it just becomes torturous to play. I like to think that a game's flaws really shine through when the difficulty is amped up. If the game is easy, you might not notice them. If a game has a bad camera, bad controls, or is incredibly punishing if you die, that all doesn't matter if you make all your jumps and destroy all resistance. I say this because the game I'm going to talk about today actually isn't hard, yet it's still awful. Even more baffling, it has an 88 on Metacritic. Wait, why? Why do people like this game? Why is it being called a technical and narrative masterpiece? Because from my perspective, the story is throwaway garbage and the gameplay is repetitive mindlessness. Apparently, F.E.A.R has good gameplay, which, to its credit, it was probably fun for a good hour or so. The game has a slowdown mechanic, which is awesome. It's an awesome way to shoot down baddies. Throw on some James Blake or Jimi Hendrix, and it'll look and sound amazing. Granted, Max Payne also had that same slowdown mechanic, and it also did it first. But anyway, after that hour's up, you'll start realizing something. The environments look exactly the same as when I started the game. In fact, everything looks the same. All the enemies that I'm shooting at are the same. I'm shooting them in the same way. I'm going through the same offices in the same building, and this never changes. I don't think I played something this repetitive in one environment since Halo 1's the library level, but at least that was just one level. This is the whole game. It's all just monotony, so it's really hard to complain about the gameplay any further. You just point and shoot at stuff, and the only thing that this game tries to do to quell the boredom is insert story sequences. You'll talk to boring two-dimensional characters while you'll cringe at their stupid dialogue, and you'll walk through spectacle corridors. That is, you'll walk down a hallway and there's some girl trying to scare you and blood gets on the floor and stuff. Maybe it's just me, but this all ceases to scare me. It's a story section. I know I can't do anything wrong. This girl can't hurt me, and no creepy intellectual ideas spouted at me. An actually halfway decent scary game, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. You're running away, frantically scrambling from a monster that can hurt you. You respond to frightening audio visuals. In F.E.A.R, you don't. You just press the W key on the keyboard until the game decides it wants you to shoot more baddies. All in all, maybe I just don't get it. The game has such high praise, but there's barely anything to it. If there was some mad genius beneath the surface that I'm just not catching on to, I don't see it. Was the story actually really engrossing and I was just not paying attention to detail because the Wilhelm scream by James Blake was too loud? I don't think so. To me, the game seems like it just gets a lot of praise because it's shiny. In 2005, it looked good. And you love shooters. If you love shooters and you play this game for 20 minutes, you'll love this game. It just looks like a great game until you really play it. But I don't know, maybe reviewers were distracted because it pushed graphics to the limit. But almost a decade later, I'm not distracted by its looks. Nothing can hide this game's blatant monotony.